What if the heart of Pluto's largest moon, Charon, is actually hiding in plain sight? New research suggests that two of Pluto's mid-size moons, Nix and Hydra, might be fragments of Charon's deep interior, scattered remnants of a violent cosmic collision that birthed the Pluto-Charon system. But here's where it gets controversial. The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, has uncovered clues that these moons are more similar to Charon's core than to any other objects in the Kuiper Belt, challenging long-held theories about how such moons form. Could this mean our understanding of moon formation in the outer solar system is incomplete? Let's dive into the details and ask some questions that might just spark a debate. For years, scientists believed Pluto and Charon formed through a kiss and capture event, where two icy bodies gently collided and merged. This process, they argued, stripped away Proto-Charon's outer layers, creating a disk of debris that eventually coalesced into smaller moons like Nix and Hydra. But JWST's latest observations are painting a different picture. The telescope's analysis of light reflected from Nix and Hydra reveals a reddish hue on their surfaces, likely caused by carbon-rich material. This coloration doesn't match anything seen in other trans-Neptunian objects, TNOs, the icy bodies that orbit beyond Neptune. And this is the part most people miss. The unique composition of Nix and Hydra suggests they're not just debris from the collision, but chunks of Charon's interior that were flung into space and later froze into moons. Brian Haller, a planetary scientist at the Space Telescope Science Institute, presented these findings at a recent conference, emphasizing how rare this material is. This surface type appears to be largely unique in the trans-Neptunian region, he said in an email. The implications are staggering. Because Nix and Hydra are small and have weak gravity, impacts on their surfaces can easily send debris hurtling into space. Over billions of years, some of this debris might have been captured by Charon's gravity and rained down on its surface. Think of it as a time capsule. The dust settling on Charon today could be a direct snapshot of the moon's interior from before the collision. We might be seeing Charon as it was before the collision, Haller said. But wait, how do we know this isn't just a fluke? In 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft gave us our first close-up of Nix and Hydra, revealing their irregular shapes and mysterious red bullseye patterns. Now, JWST's infrared capabilities have allowed researchers to compare these moons directly with other TNOs, filling in gaps left by visible light observations. The results? Nix and Hydra stand out like sore thumbs. Their surfaces haven't been significantly altered by geological activity, so they preserve the chemistry of their formation. As Haller put it, the surfaces of Nix and Hydra are as close to unaltered as you can get. The next step? Spectroscopy. By analyzing the chemical fingerprints of Nix and Hydra, scientists hope to confirm whether the red material is ammonia-rich, a substance that should break down under solar radiation unless something is actively replenishing it. Could this hint at hidden processes on these tiny moons? And if so, what does that say about the broader Kuiper Belt? The obvious next step after an imaging appetizer is to order a spectroscopic entree, Haller joked, underscoring the need for deeper analysis. Here's the bigger question. If Nix and Hydra are indeed pieces of Charon's past, does that mean similar systems elsewhere in the Kuiper Belt could hold secrets about moon formation we've never considered? Are we missing a chapter in the story of how planets and their satellites evolve? Share your thoughts in the comments, because science thrives on curiosity, and this discovery is just the beginning.